Hi guys, Saki winner, Command & Conquer, Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a free-for-all match on the map Booby Traps. I'm starting in one of the middle positions, playing as the Soviets. And you can see what I'm doing immediately is I'm moving a little bit up the map. And that's just to get to a next to an ore patch because I was in a pretty bad position at the start. And I don't want my ore trucks to be travelling long distances. Now I do have to be really careful here. I'm going to do some scouting immediately because there might be an opponent who starts right above me. There may also be one who starts to the right. The thing about those two players though is they'll go to the same ore patch first, so they might get to fight each other before me. So I'm only going to send one infantry up there, and we can see some purple infantry there going up the map. So I'm going to stay back a little bit because I don't think he knows that I'm there at the moment. He won't be expecting a player to be right at that position. And I'm just going to be getting a little bit more map visibility. Just get a visibility on some of this base as well. Just send look, it's like there's individual scouts there. It's not like I'm he knows there's going to be a base nearby. And there we can see Purple's base. We've got vision on his construction yard, on his barracks. And we could also see an orange trooper there, an orange bomberman, bombing his construction yard. And that orange player must either be from the very bottom, and we can see orange there with a number of infantry, and it looks like it's all going to be all over for Purple. He doesn't have enough infantry to defend against that. And you can see that MCV has gone down, and that means Purple is effectively out of the game. And I've just been getting a ore truck out, and I'm also getting a tank out straight away, and now I'm going to go for orange. Orange has used a lot of infantry to fight against Purple, and now I'm getting my economy going, and I'm getting my war factories out. I'm going to go for the early attack on orange because I want to hit him when he's weakest. And now he's doing a little bit of scouting. He'll be having a look at what's down below him. It looks like Purple has destroyed the orange infantry at his base, and now we're going to go for orange. We've lost full map vision because we must have got a crate. There's loads of crates on this map, and quite a few of them are bad. And I've got one of those crates, which has took all my map vision away, and now we're going to go for that ore refinery, and that's going to mean he's not going to be able to mine anything. We're going to get the barracks also, and the power plant there is also going to go down, and I think he's just sold the war factory. He's trying to escape with that MCV, but we're going to chase him up the map. Because there's not too many places he can go. This is a free-for-all match, so everyone's enemy. And that's the thing about free-for-all matches. If you attack another player, you always leave yourself open to attack. And that's what's just happened to Orange now. He's attacked Purple early on, and he's left himself vulnerable. And I'm just taking this opportunity to clear the players around me, because that'll put me in a lot better position later on in the game. And we're getting a radar dome up now, so I have a little bit of vision of what's going on over the map. Although I have very little map vision, as I say, and it's very hard to get any map vision on this map at all. And now we've found Orange's MCV, and we're going to take that construction yard out, and it's all over for Orange. That barracks left, and he is out of the game. And now we'll just go down and see Purple. Purple only had a barracks left. He was building some infantry there, but that's going to be no use when we've got tanks. So we'll just squash some of those, try and get that barracks down. And that's Purple also out of the game. And this puts me in a great position now because I've took out two players which were really close to my base, and I've sort of got this top right of the map all to myself. So yeah, a bit of a eventful start to say the least. I got quite lucky though with Orange and Purple, taking each other out almost. And that's one of those flame crates, but some of those crates were good. I got a money crate earlier on, so that'll obviously give me a big boost to my economy. And now this is a time when it's good to go multi-MCV. I've taken out the opponents close to me. I've got a bit of room. I'm unlikely to get attacked in the near future. So this is the best time to go for that multiple MCV and start getting those ore refineries out and start getting my economy built up. And there's another money crate, which is going to help me a lot at this point in the game. I'm also getting another war factory so I can build those MCVs faster. I just need to be very careful with the economy though. This is an ore-only map, so it's sometimes a little bit harder to build up the economy. There's maps like Arena Valley Extreme where you can get the benefits really, really quickly because of the abundance of gems. But with maps like this, it does take a little bit longer, but it's still useful to go multi-MCV if you can. And I'll be able to build those ore refineries quite a bit faster now. I've got those. I just need to get those two MCVs deployed, but I'll be deploying them in different places, just spreading them out a little bit. If you have all your MCVs clustered, you do leave yourself vulnerable to a bit, open to a bit more attacks. And now you can see my economy is running a bit low. So I just need to get these ore refineries out and just get some more ore trucks mining. And eventually my economy will start to come online. It just takes a little bit longer than some maps. And because obviously when you're building structures a lot quicker, you're also using your resources a lot quicker. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause tank production a little bit, just so I have a chance to build up my economy a little bit. And then I'll start producing tanks again once I've got like a good economy going. Because with 3 war factory production, it'll be pretty quick on a map like this. And just getting a bit more visibility with those infantry, getting a bit more scouting done. I just have to hope that I don't get another one of those crates where I'm going to sort of like lose all my visibility again, because that's just going to be really, really annoying. I'm playing like the Soviets. I'm not going to get satellites, so every time I lose map vision, I don't like have any way of gaining it back. But now we can see there, red, Eric is just deploying an MCV really close to our base, so we're going to take that out, of course. We don't want him that close. And you can see a war factory going down there. We're going to also take that out. He's starting to get the heavy tanks out, but we managed to take out that quite quickly. And everyone who plays against Eric knows he absolutely loves to go multiple MCVs and get a massive economy going and then start building a shed ton of heavy tanks. So we do need to be careful. He's very aware of me at the moment. And there we can see that Pink is to the left side of my base, and he's got mining there. He's playing as the ally, so he might have a bit more map vision and have a better idea of what's going on across the map. So now what we're doing is we're just base crawl into that ore patch, because we're trying to spread our ore trucks on as many ore patches as possible. And you can see I've sort of like spread my ore trucks over the ore patch in the top right, just so they're not all mining from the same position. We've seen an interesting tactic from Eric in the bottom right. He's built a sub-pen. I'm not quite sure. I'm wondering why that is. Maybe he's just defending against like possible cruisers if like Pink was to deploy, I don't know, an MCV and build a naval yard. I certainly won't be building any sub-pens, because there's not much you can do when aftermath units is switched off. You can build submarines, but they can't fire on land units, so they're virtually useless. What I am building though, which is useful, is I'm going to be building some Tesla coils, just in case my base gets attacked. And we can see some blue tanks there at the top of the map. And I just have to be very wary of them, because there could be an attack at any point. He's also playing as the ally, so he could build naval ships if he wanted to. So I do have to be careful there. And now we can see that red is going on the attack on my base, so I'm going to have to bring my tanks right to that position. He's going for the ore refinery first, and he's taken out a couple of Tesla coils there, because Teslas aren't very effective when they're on their own. I'm just building a Tesla back there, not in the main line of fire, and it's been able to do a little bit of damage. I've also got another Tesla down, because I've got plenty of power for this. So getting another Tesla down there, you can see he's sort of like sitting on top of the ore patch though at the moment. And what I'm going to be doing is just building up this Tesla number, building up my tank forces, and sort of like going for the kill. Now you can see I'm sort of like going towards his south base where he doesn't want me to go. And that's sort of like he's sort of scattering his tanks around a little bit now, and he's putting himself in a worse position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push his position, and now you can see he's trying to pull his tanks back down, and he's pulling them off that ore patch. And I'm going to go and do a bit of destruction to his base here. First of all though, I'm going to take out some of those tanks, and then I'm going to try and get some of those structures down. The question is, how strong is Eric's economy, and how much tank production is he going to be able to achieve? You can see his tanks there around there at the moment. I'm sort of not in a great position myself in terms of positioning, and now I've lost map vision once again. But what I'm doing is doing some damage to Eric's economy. I've taken out one of his construction yards. Another construction yard is going to go down. A war factory's also gone down, and we're just putting the pressure on here. But you can see now Eric coming in with his heavy tanks, and it seems like I've sort of got the better numbers at the moment, and you can see a lot of Eric's tanks are on low HP. So we're just going to try and fight this out and see if we can take out a few of those tanks and a few of those structures. I'm also going to need to get back to my base just to heal up a little bit. We're also going to the left just to see what else is there. We can see a couple of ore refineries there and a construction yard, so we'll just take those out. And he's trying to get that MCV away, but we're going to destroy that before it gets anywhere. And just building those ore refineries back. And now I'm just going further to the left just to see how far Eric is. And we can just see an absolutely ton. That is like an army of ore trucks just there. There's an absolutely shed load of them. So I don't know how many are there. We're just going to take out those ore refineries. They'll all be long distance mining and getting jammed. And yeah, we're just going to take out as many of those ore trucks as we can. This is just going to be an absolute massacre. My heavy tanks there, we're just taking out pretty quickly. They're all getting jammed up as well. He's having trouble moving them. And we must have taken out about 10. That is absolutely crazy. So that's a lot of economy going for red there. And now we'll probably just go back to the right side of the map. We can actually see there's only 3 players left in this game at the moment, so we're going to have to be quite careful about Blue actually, because he's been quite quiet. Sort of quietly building an army. I think he did have like a fight against Mother earlier on, so he might have lost some tanks there. I think he was the main person who took Mo out. But at the moment we're under threat from the bottom of the map, the bottom right, and also the top left. We're sort of like in the middle at the moment, so we're going to have to be very careful. And we're just taking out some of that red ore trucks. We're going to have to try and take Red Eric out of the game at ASAP before Blue builds up a big enough army. Because the question is, how big is that Blue army? I'm just going to be building Tesla in my base, and you can see some some MCVs going up there, a bit crazy, going to get massacred. I will get another Tesla coil up there just to take out that MCV that's going right up the map. So a couple of MCV kills there. I don't know if he's trying to get onto my base or do sort of like a base crawl or something like that. We'll be being able to take out that. But what we do see is we see a base crawl from Blue into the bottom left side of the map. So Blue's definitely building up their economy, and we're going to need to be very, very careful. He's also playing as the ally, so he might have a tech centre and be able to see what's going on in different parts of the map. So it's crucial that we get Red out of the game as soon as possible. It looks like Red is selling up, and this is good news for us. Let's hope he's just deleting all of his base. And Red is now officially out of the game. And the big question is, how big is Blue's army? Is he going to go for the attack straight away? Because that's what usually happens. And he has. He's coming from the top side of the map, and we're going to have to just send all our army back. We're sort of a bit out of position, but we sort of knew this was going to happen. And I've got a lot of Tesla in some parts of my base, and now I've hit another crate, so I have no map visibility. But that big blue tank army is quite large. We've got some Tesla, and we've got some tanks in front defending as well. So hopefully we're going to be able to whittle those tank numbers down. And let's see, he's taken out a lot of my economy, unfortunately, so I'm going to be struggling a little bit. I'm getting some more Tesla down though, and hopefully we're going to be able to defend against this. And crucially, actually, I've been able to keep one ore refinery alive, and that's quite crucial because it means my ore trucks are going to be able to still collect from that top ore patch without having to travel huge distances. The bad thing at this stage though is I've got no map visibility. I can see more tanks coming in the north side of my base. So they're going to take out some buildings there. I'm just building some more ore refineries just to get my economy going. And there's some tanks coming in the south side of my base. And the Blue still has a lot of tanks on the map. This is a battle that's going to decide the game. I'm just getting all my tanks in. I do have some advantages with Tesla. You can see I'm just unblocking my ore trucks there, which were getting a bit jammed. There was just so many of them. And you can just see these tanks are streaming in from all sides of the map. So we're going to have to take some tanks up here and just sort of like defend that one of those entrances. But you can see the tanks going right through my base. The thing is, there's a lot of Tesla in different parts of my base, so a lot of his tanks will be getting taken out. But it looks like he's going for my construction yards. So I need to just keep them alive and my war factories. If he gets my construction yard and war factories, it's as good as over. One good thing at this point though is I do have a lot of construction yard at the bottom of my base, which has a lot of Tesla defences around it, and we can see those blue tanks seem to be disappearing off the map, and it looks like he might have just pushed in too far. And when you push in too far to a Soviet player who has a lot of Tesla, then you may have a lot of tanks at one point, but those tank numbers start to fall off. And I've just took a group of tanks to his base along the top of the map, and you can see he has no defences there. We managed to get rid of his radar dome, and you can see some tanks coming in right now, and those tank numbers are decent, but I might be able to get through here. At least we're doing some damage to his main base now. And yeah, those tank numbers, they might not be enough. We might be able to get some major damage done to his economy and also his war factories, because as we get war factories down, his tank production will slow down. And yeah, those are a couple of war factories going down, so that's going to substantially lower his tank production. And just taking out sort of pillboxes. Pillboxes don't do a great deal of damage against heavy tanks if you've only got like a few. And we're just taking out those tanks at the moment, and also some of those oil refineries. And I think we're in a winning position here, because at home we're building a lot more tanks, and I'm pretty sure that his army has all but disappeared. And now we're going to be able to bring our whole army to the bottom of his base. He's been focusing on the top there, and yeah, his tank numbers are starting to build up again, but he's got an army of heavy tanks heading right towards the bottom part of his base. We're going to get that radar dome rebuilt, and it'll probably be, we'll just get our economy like set up again. And now we're going for the bottom part of his base. We can see he's building like quite a few oil refineries there, so we're going to get a really good hit on his economy. He's also got a war factory there, pillbox, a few things defending. I think the pillboxes are just to protect against Tanya's, but that base is going to go down because his tanks are a little bit out of position, and now he's getting his tanks down, but that base has been destroyed, and now we're going to be able to push up the map. I think blue is now quite isolated into a small part of the map, and also he's used up all his ore in that part of the map as well, so all of his ore trucks are long distance mining, which means his economy isn't going to be very strong, and he's not going to be able to maintain a good medium tank production with this sort of economy. And as we get control of this ore patch, we're going to be able to start to destroy those ore trucks if we need to. And now, yeah, the tank battle, you can see the tank battle here is going to block his economy from like getting there from the top to the bottom of the map. And we're just pushing further and further up, destroying some of those ore trucks at the same time, and this match is over. He's got no economy to carry him through now, and we'll just destroy the last of his buildings. So quite a hectic match with a lot of good plays, and I think the main thing here was at the start I got in a good position. If I'd stayed in the same position and I hadn't moved my MCV up to the north, I would have been stuck between Eric and Mo, and I think that would have been quite a short game. Luckily, orange and purple got in a fight, and when two players get in a fight in 3-4 matches, there's always another player that could come in and pick up the pieces, and that's exactly what I did. I sort of destroyed orange, and then I was in a real good position where I could go multi-MCV, build up my economy, and get in a good position for the rest of the game. And yeah, that just sort of was the end of that. And a big attack from blue there. It was quite close, but I think he just lost too many tanks diving into my base. I think he should have stayed on the outskirts of my base and sort of just targeted my economy, and then he might have been able to win that game, because I think he did have more map control. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.